Released 20 years ago for arcade, DemolishFist is one of those games that was never brought to home consoles, and being an arcade exclusive in 2003, it's no surprise that not many people knew or have played this game. But before I forget, hi, I am Savino, and this is The Flying Kick. DemolishFist is a weird game with a weird story, but nonetheless is a game that has its merits. One of them was that it was a beaten up in 2003. While it was a year that granted us Double Dragon Advance, the early 2000s was not the best time for brawlers. According to my data, and if you consider only 2.D beaten ups, 2003 gave us only 9 games. But sure, the game had more merits other than simply being a beaten up. First, the game has an interesting story. It was developed by Dimps, the company behind a bunch of Sonic and Street Fighter ports, and published by Sammy, which at that time wasn't part of Sega's family. This game was created for the Atomic Wave system, which was basically a Dreamcast for arcades with interchangeable cartridges, just like SNK was doing for years by that time. DemolishFist wasn't the only beaten up for this board, with Knights of Valor 7 Spirits also being made for it. The game, as I said, was never ported to any consoles, but in 2020 the arcade ROM was modified to be played on a Dreamcast, so here we are. The game, as you can see, looks good, at least for 2003. While it's nothing amazing, there is some charm to it and some of the backgrounds are pretty cool. The characters and enemies are a little bit low poly with some jank animation, but that's what you would expect from a beaten up like this at the time. The soundtrack is okay, there are some good tunes here and there, but nothing really fantastic. One weird thing is the music being absurdly low in this game. I don't know if it was my emulator or some configuration that I missed, but the fact is I had to listen to it separately on YouTube to be sure. But if the soundtrack is a bit quiet, the same can be said about the sound effects. They are a bit too loud, especially when using your special.
Go!
Oh, also, there are the voices. You will hear some screams and grunts way too much in this game. Every hit is a grunt, and they keep coming uninterruptedly with every hit. Take a listen yourselves. The game is also full of voices, from the characters introducing themselves, passing through the level intro, and finally the boss's introductions. Honestly, I miss this campiness from the late 90s, early 2000s. Take a listen at some of them. This is pure gold.
DemolishFist. Leonid Burns.
Stage 1. Apollonia Building. Iron Fist Genie. Stellar.
Vanessa May.
Stage 2. Zodiac Alley.
Undead.
DemolishFist is a hard game, very hard. It won't be here the moments where you will find yourself surrounded by huge hordes of enemies. They aren't that hard to beat, but their sheer numbers can be a problem for the player most of the time. You see, despite the modern look of the game, at least for the time, DemolishFist plays more like a classic beaten up. Here you have 3 buttons, a block, which is kind of useless, an attack, and a jump. Pressing block and jump unleashes a desperation move, and if you press the 3 buttons at the same time, you unleash one of the most fun clear screens attacks ever. And that's all you have to go through this game. There are no complex combos, no juggles. Actually, even crowd control can be a little difficult in this game. You see, differently from traditional beaten ups, in this game you can attack in 8 different directions, which means that while you're beating a particular enemy, you have another 7 points that are defenseless, instead of just 1 like in other games. This makes the game pretty hard to manage because it will be very common for you to be surrounded by enemies in 8 directions with little that you can do to protect yourself other than waste life with your desperation move. To be fair, this movement does not take that much life from you, but you won't be finding health replenishers very easily in this game. You can find some health packs and energy packs in barrels or dropped by enemies, and you will need each one of them because the most basic enemy can kill you with a few hits. Talking about the enemies, be prepared to face some of the most ridiculous enemies and bosses you ever seen a beaten up. From giant babe things to a car.
Brutal Mobile. Hulk A6.
Yes, one of the bosses is a car that you have to beat. Really, this is one of the best things in this game. This is up there with Dynamite Cop, where you have to fight a giant octopus. Man, those were the times. DemolishFist is, in the end, a product of its time. It's a quarter muncher, and since it was never released for consoles, it never had its difficulty tweaked, so prepare to spend a lot of virtual credits with this one. It's not great, but this is in no way a bad game. The difficulty can get a little annoying sometimes, but come on, you have infinite credits here, and unless you get bored before the ending, which is a possibility, you don't have any reason to not beat this one. The best way to play this game today is to look for a Dreamcast ROM. There's a MAME ROM around, but I couldn't make it work even with MAME telling me it was all good. This Dreamcast one I was able to run on Redream, a very good Android emulator, so if you were looking for something different with a good dose of campness, this may be the game for you. And that's it for the video, guys, just a quick one to celebrate the 20 years of the game. I will be back this weekend with the first episode of The Back Alley, a podcast thing where you will be able to hear me and some friends talking about beaten ups. The first episode will be all about the next Double Dragon. Other than that, I hope you all have an awesome day, and remember, keep beaten up.